Sugarcane or sugarcane is an often hybrid species of tall, perennial grass in the genus Saccharum, tribe Andropogoneae, that is used for sugar production. The plants are 2 to 6 meters tall with stout, jointed, fibrous stalks that are rich in sucrose, which accumulates in the stalk internodes. Sugarcanes belong to the grass family, Poaceae, an economically poor tant-flowering plant family that includes maize, wheat, rice, and sorghum, and many forage crops. It is native to the warm, temperate tropical regions of India, Southeast Asia, and New Guinea. The plant is also grown for biofuel production, especially in Brazil, as the canes can be used directly to produce ethyl alcohol, ethanol. Grown in tropical and subtropical regions, sugarcane is the world's largest crop by production quantity, with 1.8 billion tons produced in 2017, with Brazil accounting for 40% of the world total. In 2012, the Food and Agriculture Organization estimated it was cultivated on about 26 times 106 hectares in more than 90 countries. Sugarcane accounts for 79% of sugar produced globally, most of the rest is made from sugar beets. About 70% of the sugar produced comes from Saccharum officinarum and its hybrids. All sugarcane species can interbreed, and the major commercial cultivars are complex hybrids. Sucrose, which we call table sugar, is extracted from sugarcane in specialized mill factories. It is consumed directly in confectionery, used to sweeten beverages, as a preservative in jams and conserves, as a decorative finish for cakes and patisserie, as a raw material in the food industry, or fermented to produce ethanol. Products derived from fermentation of sugar include phalanum, rum, and cachaça. In some regions, people use sugarcane reeds to make pens, mats, screens, and thatch. The young unexpanded flower head of Saccharum adule is eaten raw, steamed, or toasted, and prepared in various ways in Southeast Asia, including Fiji and certain island communities of Indonesia. Sugarcane was an ancient crop of the Austronesian and Papuan people. It was introduced to Polynesia, island Melanesia, and Madagascar in prehistoric times via Austronesian sailors. It was also introduced to southern China and India by Austronesian traders around 1200 to 1000 BC. The Persians and Greeks encountered the famous reeds that produce honey without bees in India between the 6th and 4th centuries BC. They adopted and then spread sugarcane agriculture. Merchants began to trade in sugar, which was considered a luxurious and expensive spice, from India. In the 18th century, sugarcane plantations began in the Caribbean, South American, Indian Ocean, and Pacific Island nations. The need for sugar crop laborers became a major driver of large migrations, some people voluntarily accepting indentured servitude and others forcibly imported as slaves. Cultivation of the plant sugarcane cultivation requires a tropical or subtropical climate, with a minimum of 60 cm 24 in of annual moisture. It is one of the most efficient photosynthesizers in the plant kingdom. It is a C4 plant, able to convert up to 1% of incident solar energy into biomass. In primary growing regions across the tropics and subtropics, sugarcane crops can produce over 15 kilograms per square meter of cane. Once a major crop of the southeastern region of the United States, sugarcane cultivation declined there during the late 20th century, and is primarily confined to small plantations in Florida, Louisiana, and southeast Texas in the 21st century. Sugarcane cultivation ceased in Hawaii when the last operating sugar plantation in the state shut down in 2016. Sugarcane is cultivated in the tropics and subtropics in areas with a plentiful supply of water for a continuous period of more than 6 to 7 months each year, either from natural rainfall or through irrigation. The crop does not tolerate severe frosts. Sugarcane can be grown on many soils ranging from highly fertile, well-drained mollisols, through heavy cracking vertisols. Infertile acid oxysols and ultisols, peaty histosols, to rocky andisols. Both plentiful sunshine and water supplies increase cane production. This has made desert sea countries with good irrigation facilities such as Egypt some of the highest yielding sugarcane cultivating regions. Sugarcane consumes 9% of the world's potash fertilizer production. Although some sugarcanes produce seeds, modern stem cutting has become the most common reproduction method. Each cutting must contain at least one bud, and the cuttings are sometimes hand-planted. In more technologically advanced countries, such as the United States and Australia, billet planting is common. Billets harvested by a mechanical harvester are planted by a machine that opens and recloses the ground. Once planted, a stand can be harvested several times. After each harvest, the cane sends up new stalks, called ratoons. Successive harvests give decreasing yields, eventually justifying replanting. 2-10 harvests are usually made depending on the type of culture. In a country with a mechanical agriculture looking for a high production of large fields, as in North America, sugarcanes are replanted after 2 or 3 harvests to avoid a lowering yields. In countries with a more traditional type of agriculture with smaller fields and hand harvesting, as in the French island La Réunion, sugarcane is often harvested up to 10 years before replanting. Sugar processing from cane. Traditionally, sugarcane processing requires 2 stages. Mills extract raw sugar from freshly harvested cane and mill white sugar is sometimes produced immediately after the first stage at sugar extraction mills, intended for local consumption. Sugar crystals appear naturally white in color during the crystallization process. Sulfur dioxide is added to inhibit the formation of color-inducing molecules and to stabilize the sugar juices during evaporation. Refineries, often located nearer to consumers in North America, Europe, and Japan, then produce refined white sugar, which is 99% sucrose. These 2 stages are slowly merging. Increasing affluence in the sugarcane-producing tropics increases demand for refined sugar products, driving a trend toward combined milling and refining. Global production of sugarcane in 2018 was 1.91 billion tons, with Brazil producing 39% of the world total, India with 20%, and China and Thailand producing about 6% each. Worldwide, 26 million hectares were devoted to sugarcane cultivation in 2018. The average worldwide yield of sugarcane crops in 2018 was 73 tons per hectare, led by Peru with 121 tons per hectare. The theoretical possible yield for sugarcane is about 280 tons per hectare per year, and small experimental plots in Brazil have demonstrated yields of 236 to 280 tons of cane per hectare. Only 3.2% of total sugarcane production in 2016 complied with a voluntary sustainability standard such as Bonsucro or Fairtrade, but sustainable production is growing at a much faster rate than conventional production. From 2008 to 2016, production of standards-compliant sugarcane experienced a compound annual growth rate of about 52%, WHI. The conventional sugarcane increased at less than 1%. Ethanol production. Ethanol is generally available as a byproduct of sugar production. It can be used as a biofuel alternative to gasoline, and is widely used in cars in Brazil. It is an alternative to gasoline, and may become the primary product of sugarcane processing rather than sugar. In Brazil, gasoline is required to contain at least 22% bioethanol. This bioethanol is sourced from Brazil's large sugarcane crop. The production of ethanol from sugarcane is more energy efficient than from corn or sugar beets or palm vegetable oils, PAR. Particularly if cane bagasse is used to produce heat and power for the process. Furthermore, if biofuels are used for crop production and transport, the fossil energy input needed for each ethanol energy unit can be very low. Sayur estimates that with an integrated sugar cane to ethanol technology, the well-to-wheels CO2 emissions can be 90% lower than conventional gasoline. A textbook on renewable energy describes the energy transformation. Bagasse applications of sugarcane is a major crop in many countries. It is one of the plants with the highest bioconversion efficiency. Sugarcane crop is able to efficiently fix solar energy, yielding some 55 tons of dry matter per hectare of land annually. After harvest, the crop produces sugar juice and bagasse, the fibrous dry matter. This dry matter is biomass with potential as fuel for energy production. Bagasse can also be used as an alternative source of pulp for paper production. Sugarcane bagasse is a potentially abundant source of energy for large producers of sugarcane, such as Brazil, India, and China. According to one report, with use of latest technologies, bagasse produced annually in Brazil has the potential of meeting 20% of Brazil's energy consumption by 2020. Electricity production. A number of countries, in particular those lacking fossil fuels, have implemented energy conservation and efficiency measures to minimize the energy used in cane processing, and export any excess electricity to the grid. Bagasse is usually burned to produce steam, which in turn creates electricity. Current technologies, such as those in use in Mauritius, produce over 100 kilowatt-hours of electricity per ton of bagasse. With a total world harvest of over 1 billion tons of sugarcane per year, the global energy potential from bagasse is over 100,000 gigawatt-hours. Using Mauritius as a reference, an annual potential of 10,000 gigawatt-hours of additional electricity could be produced throughout Africa. Electrical generation from bagasse could become quite important, particularly to the rural populations of sugarcane-producing nations. Recent cogeneration technology plants are being designed to produce from 200 to over 300 kilowatt-hours of electricity per ton of bagasse. As sugarcane is a seasonal crop, shortly after harvest the supply of bagasse would peak, requiring power generation plants to strategically manage the storage of bagasse. Biogas production. A greener alternative to burning bagasse for the production of electricity is to convert bagasse into biogas. Technologies are being developed to use enzymes to transform bagasse into an advanced biofuel and biogas. Sugarcane as food. In most countries where sugarcane is cultivated, several foods and popular dishes are derived directly from it, such as raw sugarcane, chewed to extract the juice. Sayur nganten, an Indonesian soup made with the stem of trubuk, a type of sugarcane juice, a combination of fresh juice, extracted by hand or small mills, with a touch of lemon and ice to make a popular drink. Known variously as tebu. Syrup. A traditional sweetener in soft drinks, now largely supplanted in the US by high fructose corn syrup, which is less expensive because of corn subsidies and sugar tariffs. Molasses. Used as a sweetener and a syrup accompanying other foods, such as cheese or cookies. Jaggery. A solidified molasses, known as gur, gud, or gul in South Asia. is traditionally produced by evaporating juice to make a thick sludge, and then cooling and molding it in buckets. Modern production partially freeze-dries the juice to reduce caramelization and lighten its color. It is used as sweetener in cooking traditional entrees, sweets, and desserts. Phalanum, a sweet, and slightly alcoholic drink made from sugarcane juice. Cachaça, the most popular distilled alcoholic beverage in Brazil. It is a liquor made of the distillation of sugarcane juice. Rum is a liquor made from sugarcane products, typically molasses, but sometimes also cane juice. It is most commonly produced in the Caribbean and environs. Bagasse is a fermented alcoholic beverage made from sugarcane juice produced in the Philippines and Guyana. Panela, solid pieces of sucrose and fructose obtained from the boiling and evaporation of sugarcane juice, is a food staple in Colombia and other countries in South and Central America. Rapadura is a sweet flour that is one of the simplest refinings of sugarcane juice. Common in Latin American countries such as Brazil, Argentina, and Venezuela, where it is known as papelón, and the Caribbean. Rock candy, crystallized cane juice. Sugarcane as feed. Many parts of the sugarcane are commonly used as animal feeds where the plants are cultivated. The leaves make a good forage for ruminants.